Hello and welcome to Best of the Bets. I'm Christina Nicolaides and we're here to look at this weekend's Premier League action. We have an FA Cup final and we have European games as well. I have our regular guest with me once again. It is Gareth Walker, who's our bookie extraordinaire. How are you doing, Gareth, from Heaven Bets?
Very well, thank you. Good to see you again.
And Sam Dymond, our football expert and editor of bestofthebets.com. How are you doing, Sam?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Looking smart again.
Thank you.
Freshly shaven. Like it.
Freshly shaven 2 days ago.
We are starting with the FA Cup final. Wigan versus Manchester City. Gareth.
So the 90-minute betting, Wigan, big outsiders, 9.3 to win in 90 minutes, 5.2 for the draw. Manchester City, 1.3. If you're just looking at Wigan to win the Cup, that's priced at 5.3.
It must be really, really disheartening for them going into what should be the biggest game in their history.
Especially they've got Arsenal on Tuesday.
Well, essentially that is the more important game. It's terribly sad to say it, but...
Are they going to rest players for the Cup final?
Well, you'd almost sort of make an argument for that being the case. They know they're going to be in the Europa League, so it's really just the glory of trying to win the cup. You know, you want to get excited about FA Cup like we used to do and cheer on the underdogs, but I mean it's really sort of hard to be positive about Wigan, especially after that defending in midweek. They still look great going forward, and I never tire of watching Coney, Maloney, McCarthy. I never tire of saying it either. But just the defending was so bad. I mean, Gary Caldwell, usually sort of quite a solid.
I was just watching through my hands. I mean, that
goal
was in slow motion. You know, it's just so bad. And that's the big question here. How do they possibly lift themselves up for the game one? Well, you'd hope that they can for a cup final. But then, I mean, how can you eliminate such chronic, defending such low on confidence players? How does Martinez get this team in a position where they believe that they can beat Man City when they couldn't believe that they could beat Swansea reserves? Cup finals, well, they always finish with a one-goal margin, don't they? I think the last 6 have all been decided by 1 goal. 4 have been 1-0, 2 have been 2-1. So, I mean, that was my initial instinct on how to play it.
Exactly the same.
Because you think, well, cup finals, that's what happens. But cup finals don't normally have this Wigan team who've got such talent up front and such a comedy leaky defence. I'm going to put a romantic bet on, and I'm going to go with Wigan to win in 90 minutes. At 9.3, just that price. I'm mindful that they did me a big favour when they won at Everton in similar circumstances where everyone's expecting Everton to win. Yeah. Here, everyone's expecting City to win. City should win, absolutely no doubt, and it will need huge slices of luck to go Wigan's way. They had big slices of luck last weekend when they beat West Brom, and if they get similar fortune, there is enough talent in that Wigan team to win. Having said that, wouldn't be surprised at all if they get paced in.
I was very sort of similar in my thinking to Gareth. I thought this would be a very low-scoring game, not looking just at cup finals, but also looking at Manchester City's last 5 trips to Wembley. I think in the last couple of seasons, there's only been 1 goal in all 5 of those games, or 1 goal margin. But now it's really hard to sort of see something being that competitive. Wigan obviously had this awful result on Tuesday, and while they were doing that, Man City were resting 8 players in preparation for this game.
Yeah, but my thinking is that the City players who were all rested will have been so bored watching that City West Brom match that they've been checking out the Wigan game. They'll have seen that defending and they'll be just thinking, well, this is job done.
With Silva and Yaya Toure back in the team, just absolutely key for them. I looks like a handicap bet for me, minus 1.75 on the Asians.
Minus 1.75 for City, that's priced at 2.1, or if you want to go City minus 1.5, that's 1.9.
So you've heard what the boys have had to say about this game. It's time to hear from Mike.
That was a devastating blow for Wigan in midweek, losing to Swansea, having taken the lead twice. It kind of leaves their survival aspirations dangling by a thread, basically. And, they've got a huge game at Arsenal on Tuesday. It's make or break for their season. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for some of these Wigan players. So, I don't expect them to roll over and not take it seriously. But without the kind of preparation you'd like to have as an underdog in this scenario, and without the performances dipping in advance of this game, I'm struggling to see how they're going to peak. If anyone's going to peak for this game, it's going to be City. And I think anything on the handicap, City -1, City -2, or even Manchester City to win both halves, they're all feasible options.
Again, agreeing with Sam on the handicap.
Yeah, I'm in a minority with Wigan, aren't I? I can't say I'm surprised. The options with the handicap, so you can go City -1.5 goals. That's priced at 1.9. So if City win by 2 or more goals, that bet's a winner. Or the slightly bigger price, you can go for City minus 1.75. That's priced at 2.1. Other options are siding with City. If you go City to lead at half-time and to win at full-time, that's priced at 1.7.
You've also got a promotion for us.
Absolutely,
as well,
yeah. The big games, big names offer. It's Sergio Aguero for this one. But if he scores the first goal in the cup final, then losing correct score and first or last goal scorer bets will be refunded by HeavenBet.
Thank you, Gareth. We're moving on to Aston Villa versus Chelsea.
This is the only Premier League game on Saturday. Aston Villa 4.2, draw 3.6, and Chelsea 1.9.
Villa have won the last 2, which makes them the most informed team in the Premier League after Sunderland
These runs of 2,
Stoke before them in recent weeks.
Yeah.
But Chelsea are looking good now for Champions League football after that draw in midweek. I think one more win from these last 2 games will
with a goal difference,
their superior goal difference. But I'm not necessarily convinced they're going to get it here. I think just the Europa League is on the horizon. They've got that final on Wednesday, and I just think that maybe Rafa Benitez will use this opportunity now to rest a few players ahead of that game. But I think now Villa could maybe spring a surprise if we're not anticipating a sort of a full-strength Chelsea 11, because I just think now Villa are playing probably their best football this season. They've won 5 of the last 8 games. That's terrific form. Agbonlahor seems to have found his form as well. And just going forward, they look so good. Obviously, defensively, still an issue, but...
Joe Bennett?
But then, you could almost sort of argue the same of Chelsea, just at a higher level. If it was a full-strength Chelsea, I'd definitely be looking at the overs. But just anticipating a couple of changes, maybe I'm going to go for Aston Villa again. Quite a big price.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Villa have got a very nice position now that surely they are safe. The only way they can go down now is if Wigan win at Arsenal. I mean, Villa 4.2, it is tempting. I'm just going to go with this Chelsea bandwagon. They just keep on rolling on. I've been trying to take them on because you just think surely something's got to catch up with them, but it hasn't. I have been very keen on Villa in recent weeks, but the way I'm going to play it is to go for the draw at half-time and Chelsea to win at full-time. Chelsea have just this ability, difficult to quantify, just this ability to just do what they need to do in the second half of games. And the draw half-time, Chelsea full-time is priced at 5. It was Agbonlahor's turn to score the goals last match, but haven't forgotten Benteke's hat-trick against Sunderland, magnificent.
Yeah,
and he's priced at 6.3 to score the first goal. So I'll sort of hedge my bets a little bit by getting involved with Villa for the first goal scorer there, 6.3 Benteke.
Yeah.
But I think Chelsea just to nick it.
Okay. We are moving on to Sunday game, Porto versus Benfica.
There's 2 games to go, and these are the top 2.
Yeah.
Porto, 1.9 for this one, draws 3.35. Benfica are priced at 4. Porto are at home, they're 2 points behind Benfica, but if they win this, they'll go into pole position ahead of the last game.
It's very hard to pick a winner here because both teams are unbeaten all season, and it's a very realistic possibility that if this one ends a draw, then there's a team that are going to end up going a season unbeaten without winning the league. But what I like here is I find it very hard to find an angle on the 90-minute market. But overs definitely looks a play because you look at sort of recent games between the 2. I think 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone over 3.5 goals. All of those have gone over 2.5 goals. And let's not forget an explosive start to the reverse fixture.
It was an incredible game, yeah.
2 all within 17 minutes. Wasn't
That's it, yeah. Then nothing else happened.
It's astonishing, and we've labelled before how attacking Benfica are as a unit. So I think O is definitely the way to play this. Porto sort of predominantly been the team with the success in recent seasons. They won 6 of the last 7 titles, and I think they're actually unbeaten in this rivalry in the last 6 games as well. So I think definitely for Benfica. But the problem Benfica have is the distraction of this Europa League final on Wednesday. Now, is it not a bigger story for a Portuguese side to win a European trophy?
Yeah, first final since 1990 for Benfica. I just think that they're going to have to, they'll basically play they'll definitely play their full strength side. Whether those players will be absolutely 100% committed to for every 50-50 ball, bearing in mind that they'll be thinking, if I get injured here, I'm out of Wednesday. That's the imponderable, and that edges me towards Porto for this game. This is the decider, really. I
had the same thought process as this, but what puts me off Porto slightly is the form of their top goal scorer, Jackson Martinez. But he's just got 2 in his last 7 appearances now, and that was a brace against the bottom club. So it's kind of he's fallen out of goal scoring form at the wrong time.
Yeah,
really.
I think Porto are the team in slight decline, and Benfica are the team on the up, I'd say, for the second half of the season, definitely.
Yeah.
Having looked at Porto that way, at the prices, Benfica at 4 are my bet for this.
I can't pick a result, but I think there'll be goals, so over 2.5 for me. Odds on, but I like it.
Over 2.5, yeah, priced at 1.8.
Yeah.
Benfica priced at 4.
Okay, moving on, we're moving to the Bundesliga and Bayern Munich versus Augsburg. So Bayern Munich, of course, German champions. They've got the Champions League final.
For this one, Bayern Munich 1.2, draw 6.7 in Augsburg. 13.4 if you fancy a big price win.
They are 16th in the league, Sam.
They are 16th, but when we covered them just after the winter break, they were fully engulfed in the bottom two and looking a certainty to get relegated. They've been pretty good since then. If we'd started the league table from the second half of the season, they would actually be 7th. And they've lost all 3 meetings in the past 2 seasons, but they've been quite narrow. And so I quite like that again. I think I'm going to take Augsburg on the handicap. Bayern against Dortmund last week, I think only 3 or 4 players who started that game are going to be expected to start the Champions League final. So they're obviously using all their resources now in the final weeks of the season. As Gareth says, there's nothing to play for in the league. So I expect Bayern to win, but I think it could be maybe a closer scoreline than a lot of people suggest. So Augsburg plus 1.5 for me. Yeah,
which is priced at 2.3. It's really the key issue is trying to second guess what lineup Munich are going to put out. They're going to have to give their big guns a go in the league before the end of the season, you think, to keep them fresh. So I'm actually going to I'll take the opposite view, and I think Munich can get a big win here. I mean, you're not getting great prices. 4-0's priced at 10, 5-0's priced at 15. It's just great looking at some of Munich's scorelines over the past few weeks. Some real crazy performances.
Yeah, of course.
Crazy scorelines, just absolutely wiping the floor. That goal difference is plus 76. Just never tire of watching Munich. So yeah, I'll be certainly keen to watch the game. And yeah, a couple of small plays on the big scores, like 4-0 and 5-0 for me here.
Okay, we're moving on then to Wolfsburg versus Borussia Dortmund, 11th versus 2nd.
Yeah, again, well, we said Dortmund nailed on for second, so 20 points behind Munich, but I don't think there's a 20-point gap in terms of quality between the sides. Wolfsburg here, 4.1, draw 3.9, and Borussia Dortmund 1.8.
As we say, what have Dortmund really got to get excited about in the Bundesliga? Little. And Wolfsburg, I've quite liked Wolfsburg ever since Felix Magath got the sack earlier in the season. They've been improving steadily since then. 8-game unbeaten run at the moment, but 5 of those have been draws, and I think the draws away. I'm going to take this one again. Dortmund's away record against the teams above Wolfsburg isn't spectacular. It's just 3 wins from 9, so I think I can see this one ending as a stalemate.
It looks a big price. It's definitely one I'll be taking as well. Actually, we don't seem to have agreed on much today, actually, but this one I'm right in line with Sam there. I mean, Dortmund would be kicking themselves. Had such a poor first half of the season, which pretty much finished off with that defeat at home to Wolfsburg, and then second half they've been much better. So yeah, draw here I think is the way to go. Looking forward to the Champions League final. We've got prices and betting fully available now. Bayern Munich 1.8 to win that Champions League final in 90 minutes. Dortmund a 4.3. The draw 3.75. Yeah, really looking forward to that. I know it's a couple of weeks away, but just can't wait.
Okay, best bet then, Gareth.
Best bet for the week. I'm going to go for Benfica actually at 4 to win in Porto.
Okay.
I do have that question mark about the fact they've got the Europa League in the week, but just the way it's all set up, that it's win or bust for Porto, I'm going to take a chance with Benfica at 4.
That's an interesting bet, certainly. Yeah, may as well just keep that graphic with Aston Villa up, I think, for the rest of the season. I'm going to take Aston Villa to beat Chelsea.
That's priced at 4.2.
Okay, so my best bet for Saturday then is the double Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund to win. Okay,
yeah, so 1.2 and 1.8 pairs around even money, actually. Yeah, nice bet, nice way of doing it. I like it.
Okay. So you've heard what we've had to say about Saturday. You can place your bets on our website, heavenbet.com. Join us after the break when we look at the Premier League and all the games for Sunday. See you then. Do you rate your powers of prediction? Well, now is your chance to prove it and win a prize. Log on to bestofthebets.com, and in the tips and advice section, you'll find 6 Premier League games discussed in the show. Predict home, draw, or away for each one, and 4 or more correct answers guarantees a prize. Good luck.